Good evening, my name is Irgy and I will present about classroom management. I will present about three topics. Topic 1. Teaching Tolerance. Teaching Tolerance was a program founded in 1991 by the Southern Poverty Law Center or SPLC. Its initial goal was to reduce prejudice and promote understanding and respect for difference in schools. Over time, the organization's mission evolved, recognizing that tolerance alone wasn't enough to address systematic injustice. In February 2021, Teaching Tolerance officially changed its name to Learning for Justice. This rebranding reflects a broader and more action-oriented focus on social justice, anti-bias education, and empowering students and educators to challenge prejudice and advocate for a more equitable society. Key aspect of Learning for Justice. Mission: to help teachers and school educate children and youth to be active participants in a diverse democracy with an emphasis on social justice, challenging prejudice and becoming agents of change. Free resource for educator. Learning for Justice provides a wealth of free educational material for K-12 educators, including lesson plans and classroom activities, curriculum kits and film kits, professional development resource, the social justice standard, which provide a framework for anti-bias education across four domains: identity, diversity, justice, and action, and a magazine with articles and reflection on education, equity, and social justice. Focus areas. Their resources cover a wide range of topics related to diversity and inclusion, such as race and ethnicity, gender and sexual identity, ability, class, religion, bullying and bias, immigration rights, and activism. Impact. Learning for Justice aims to help educators create inclusive school communities where all children are respected, valued, and feel welcome. They emphasize the importance of critical thinking, empathy, and active participation in building a more just world. While the name has changed, the core commitment to fostering understanding, reducing bias, and promoting educational equity remains central to the work of Learning for Justice. Topic 2. Helping students handle anger, frustration, and aggression. Helping students manage anger, frustration, and aggression is crucial for their emotional well-being, academic success, and social development. It's about teaching them emotional regulation skills, providing healthy coping mechanisms, and creating a supportive environment. Here, a comprehensive approach. First, understanding the root causes. Before implementing strategies, try to understand why a student is experiencing this emotion. Anger and aggression are often secondary emotions, stemming them frustration, fear or anxiety, lack of control, injustice, underlying needs, past experience or trauma, and difficulty communicating needs. 2 is proactive strategies. These strategies aim to prevent anger, frustration, and aggression from escalating in the first place. A is a build strong relationship, show empathy and understanding, positive reinforcement, and open communication. B. Establish clear routines and expectations, predictable environment, define rules and consequences, and visual support. C. Teach emotional literacy, label emotion, discuss feeling, and storytelling and role-playing. D. Promote self-awareness, trigger and sign, identify triggers and recognize physical signs. E. Create a calm down space or safe place. Design a quiet, non-punitive area in the classroom where students can go to de-escalate, and equip it with calming tools like fidget toys, blanket, books, or sensory items. 3. Reactive strategies. These techniques help students manage their emotion in the moment and choose healthier responses. A. De-escalation technique. Remain calm, active listening, and validate feeling, not action. Give space, over choice, and direct attention. B. Teach copying skill and regulation strategies. Deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, movement or physical outlet, and sensory input. Positive self-talks, journaling or drawing, humor, and problem-solving skills. 4. Post-incident and ongoing support. A. Reflect and learn. Debrief. When the student is completely calm, talk about what happened. What led to you feeling so angry? What could you have done differently? Focus on solution. Help them brainstorm better ways to handle similar simulation in the future. Last, do offer opportunities for younger children. Sometimes a do-offer or the chance to practice a different response can be effective. B. Social skill training. Communication skill. Teach I statement. Active listening. How to truly hear what others are saying. Conflict resolution. Step to resolve disagreement peacefully, including negotiation and compromise. And the last, empathy and perspective talking. Help students understand how their action impact others. C. Collaborate with parents and or guardians. Share strategies being used at school, encourage a consistent approach between home and school, and communicate concern and progress. D. Seek professional support. If a student's anger, frustration, or aggression is persistent, severe, or impacting their learning and relationship, despite interventions, consider recommending or seeking support from school counselor or psychologist, behavioral specialists, and external mental health professionals. Topic 3. Disruptive behavior. Disruptive behavior in the classroom or any educational setting is any action or verbalization that interferes with the teaching learning process or limits or the student's ability to benefit from instruction. It can range from minor annoyances to more serious challenges, and if left unaddressed can negatively impact the overall learning environment, student engagement, and even teacher well-being. Why do students exhibit disruptive behavior? 1 is attention seeking, 2 boredom or lack of engagement, 3 frustration or overwhelm, 4 personal issue, and last, need for control or power struggle. Next is lack of social emotional skill, desire for peer acceptance, lack of clear expectation or inconsistent consequences, and the last, mismatch in teaching style. Common example of disruptive behavior, like talking out of time or excessive chatting, constant interruption, off-task behavior, physical restlessness, disrespectful behavior. Attention-seeking behavior, late arrival or early departures, refusal to participate or follow instruction, aggression, verbal or physical, sleeping in class, and eating loudly or messily. Strategies to manage disruptive behavior. Managing disruptive behavior requires a proactive, consistent, and empathetic approach. 1. Preventative strategies. These are the most effective long-term solutions aiming to reduce the likelihood of disruption. A. Establish clear expectations and rules. Go create rules, keep them positive and concise, post and review regularly, and teach procedure. B. Build positive relationship. Get to know your student, show empathy and respect, greet them at the door, and use positive reinforcement. C. Engage students with effective instruction. Vary teaching methods. Differentiate instruction, make content relevant, and maintain space. D. Create a positive and structured classroom environment. Organize space, appropriate seating arrangement, and positive climate. 2. Reactive strategies. When disruption occurs, these strategies help address it directly. A. Verbal cues. The teacher looks, proximity control, hand signal, and light touch. B. Verbal reminder. Private conversation, specific and direct, state expectation, focus on the behavior, not the student, and give a choice limited. C. Implement consequence. Logical consequence, consistent is key, follow through, and opportunity for reflection. D. De-escalation for more intense behavior. Stay calm and neutral. Give space. Offer cool down break. Validate feeling, not action. Avoid power struggles, and refers to school policy. 3. Post-incident and ongoing support. A. Reflect and rebuild. Debrief with the student. Focus on solution. Repair relationship. B. Collaborate with support system. Communicate with parents or guardians. Involve school support staff and counselor, social workers, special education teacher, or administrator can offer valuable insight and strategies and behavioral plans. C. Teach self-regulation and social skills. Explicitly teach skills like impulse control, active listening, conflict resolution, and empathy. And integrate social emotional learning or CEL into the curriculum. So this is my explanation about part 1 with the topic, and begin to part 2. Part 2 we have 3 problems. Problem 1 is Alex's aggressive behavior. Mr. Johnson is a 5th grade teacher who has been teaching for over 10 years. This year, she has a student named Alex who frequently displays aggressive behavior. Alex often interrupts lessons, talks back to the teacher, and sometimes even becomes physically aggressive towards his classmates. Mr. Johnson has tried various strategies to manage Alex's behavior, such as settings, clear rules and consequences, positive reinforcement, focused behavior, and speaking with Alex privately to understand the root of his aggression. However, despite her effort, Alex's behavior has not improved significantly. Question: what classroom management technique can Mr. Johnson implement to address aggressive behavior? First is functional behavior assessment. What it is, identify why Alex is displaying aggressive behavior by collecting data on when and where the aggression occurs and what happened before and after. How it helps understanding the trigger and purpose. For example, seeking attention and avoiding tasks allow Mr. Johnson to design targeted interventions addressing the root cause. 2. Teach and model replacement behavior. What it is, directly teach Alex appropriate ways to express frustration or seek help, such as using a help card or requesting breaks. How it helps, give Alex clear alternative to aggression, reducing the need for him to act out to get his need met. 3. Implement a behavior intervention plan with consistent reinforcement. What it is, develop a structured plan that includes a clear expectation, consistent consequence, and immediate positive reinforcement for appropriate behavior. How it helps? Consistently help Alex understand expectation while enforcing positive behavior, encourage him to repeat them, gradually reducing aggression. Problem 2. Off-task behavior in Mr. Smith class. Mr. Smith is a 7th grade math teacher who has noticed that several students in the class frequently engage in off-task behavior during lesson. These students often daydream, chat with classmates, or use their phone instead of focusing on their work. Despite Mr. Smith's attempt to redirect their attention and provide engaging activities, the problem persists. This off-task behavior is disrupting the learning environment and affecting the overall performance of the class. Question: what strategies can Mr. Smith use to increase on-task behavior and decrease off-task behavior? 1. Use active supervision and proximity control. What it is, walk around the classroom frequently, making eye contact with students and standing near off-task students. How it helps? Students are less likely to engage in off-task behavior when they know the teacher is monitoring them clearly. 2. Incorporate structure and interactive activities. What it is, use cooperative learning, think per share of or problem solving games to make lessons more engaging. How it helps? Interactive activities increase students' engagement, reducing opportunities for daydreaming and chatting. 3. Establish clear, consistent routines and expectations. What it is, set clear rules for phone use, talking, and work completion, and enforce them consistently. How it helps? When students know what is expected and that there are consistent consequences, off-task behavior decreases while on-task behavior increases. Problem 3. Jack's disruptive behavior. Miss Brown is an 8th grade English teacher who is facing challenge with a student named Jack. Jack frequently exhibits disruptive behavior in class, such as talking out of turn, making inappropriate comments, and distracting other students. Despite Mr. Brown's attempts to manage the behavior through further warnings and setting changes, Jack's behavior has not improved. This disruptive behavior is affecting the learning environment and making it difficult for other students to concentrate on their work. Question: what specific strategies can Ms. Brown implement to manage Jack's disruptive behavior? 1. Use a check-in or check-out system. What it is, Jack checks in with Ms. Brown on another adult at the start and of each day or class to discuss behavior goals and reflect in progress. How it helps? Provide checks with personalized attention and accountability, reducing disruptive behavior over time. 2. Implement positive behavior support. What it is, identify and enforce Jack's positive behavior immediately with praise or small rewards. How it helps? Shift focus from punishing negative behavior to encouraging positive action, making Jack more likely to comply with class expectation. 3. Develop a private signal or cue. What it is, establish a non-verbal signal. For example, hand signal or sticky note to alert Jack when he is being disruptive. How it helps? Allow Miss Brown to correct Jack's behavior discreetly without escalating or embarrassing him in front of peers. So This is my explanation about part 1 and part 2 in classroom management. I'm sorry if there are any misplaced or misunderstanding what I have to say. I'm very sorry and thank you.